Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all backgrounds, ages, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Cooper Harrison, public speaker, purpose mentor, and best-selling author. Please enjoy Cooper Harrison. Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. Today I'm chatting with Cooper Harrison, public speaker, purpose mentor, best-selling author, certified hypnotherapist, and Reiki practitioner. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time and your energy and love what you're doing. We need more people like you in the podcasting space. Of
Well, thank you. I
course.
love these conversations that I get to have with people
Same.
about creativity and the nuances of it and how it shows up in people's lives. So I'm super excited to dig into
Yeah.
that experience that you have. But before we start that, why don't you let our listeners know a little bit more about who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah. So I do kind of an array of things, I would say.
Mhm.
I am certified in Reiki levels 1 and 2, um, energy psychology, hypnotherapy, but I would label myself now as more of like a purpose mentor. So I try to help entrepreneurs or high level executives try to find their purpose in life, which some people think it's just making money. I would say it's more around the lines of trying to help people find what they're trying to fill the gap in their life in terms of what it means to find themselves outside of work. And it actually could lead into work, but if you want to be just like a more present, parent, partner,
Mhm.
friend, you know, I've worked with people with addictions. I've worked with people because like a lot of those things stem from not having your purpose exactly.
Mhm.
Because when you're not doing what you love, it kind of sucks the energy out of you. And that's kind of why, as much as I enjoy learning Reiki and those sorts of things. I'm not really a practitioner anymore because I didn't want to take on other people's energy so much
Mhm.
like I used to. But learning Reiki and learning energy and learning how when you're doing a very negative vibrational thing in life,
Mhm.
it's going to take your happiness and your life
Mhm.
force away from you.
Mhm.
And you can definitely get it back. Um, but that's why finding your purpose is crucial. But for people that want to start a business that is purpose filled, especially in today's world, um, you have to go in deep and find yourself first because
Mhm.
that's how you
Mhm.
eliminate your fear. So
Mhm.
that's what I do in a nutshell.
Nice. I mean, I love all of this. The finding purpose, the that exploration of how to be present, not only with yourself, but other people. I'm
hmm
curious, how did you find yourself? How did you find your purpose on this journey and end up sharing, working with other people to help them find theirs?
That is baptism by fire is what they call it. So, so yeah, no, I found myself it was kind of after college because I graduated in 2019 from undergrad and I worked for a nonprofit for 6 months and I was doing grad school, getting my MBA. And I then changed jobs in February of 2020, so right before COVID. And when COVID hit and, that isolation period, I realized I'm not like happy with
Mm.
myself. And I just went into Joe Dispenza and going through manifestation of your reality, and I started meditating, and then I started helping others meditate in like group sessions. And then I had a collective group for a while that was
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to entrepreneurs. And, spirituality was kind of like a pillar that I implemented for
Mm-hmm.
others, and helping other people meditate to find their creativity and find, safety, and finding their voice, and being able to see the vision of what they want in their
Mm-hmm.
life. And and it really started, it started in 2020 when I started meditating and just
Mm-hmm.
progressively advancing myself. But then I dated someone for 2.5 years, and I broke off that relationship. And when I was living by myself, completely by myself, no roommates, no nothing, and I had so much time on my hands to figure out, okay, what do I actually want to do in this life? And I realized I was afraid of, you know, public speaking, and I was afraid
Mm-hmm.
of like being heard, and people knowing my voice. Because actually, I was kind of in the spotlight, kind of thrusted into it when I was a kid because I had leukemia. I
Mm.
was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 7 years old,
Wow.
going into second grade. And then I was doing like all these charity events, all these public speaking events, and I kind of turned into kind of a motivational
Mm-hmm.
figure in a way for
Yeah.
for others. So I had that, and then I know I've kind of gone a little off track, but like to take a step back, and so I had cancer, had like this motivational, inspirational charge behind just just who I am, my persona.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got to middle school, I got bullied pretty
Mm.
severely. So it really quieted me as a person.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to speak or be heard for
Mm.
a long time. Then I got to high school, and like I was kind of that silent, observant leader.
Mm.
Like I was really good at sports, and I was like the captain of a lot of teams in high school in the different sports that I played. And but I wasn't really like a talkative, rah rah type
Mm.
of leader. I was very
Mm-hmm.
quiet and observant. And then I got to college kind of the same way. But I got into charity fundraising for cancer organizations. So then I kind of got
Mm-hmm.
back into the mix of, you know, hey, this is my story, donate a bunch of money. And I had a lot of success doing that.
Mm.
But it was me just tapped into this mentality of like I could only get people's attention if I was like feeling sorry for myself.
Mm.
So I realized that through these meditative experiences, and realizing I was
Wow.
like in this kind of victim complex while also like helping others at the same time. Like it was kind of a hard thing to grasp, because it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm doing a good cause and a good thing. Yeah, but I think I'm only worthy enough for people's attention when I am like feeling sorry for myself, or like I have to
Yeah.
be in this, like I had cancer, like I'm just like this person that's been through a lot. So I reprogrammed that through kind of self-study. And that's when I
Mm.
got into Joe Dispenza, and that's when I
Mm-hmm.
got into um, her name is Dr. Karen Wells. She teaches hypnotherapy and has
Mm.
certifications and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
worked with her, and was able to figure out your subconscious has these identities in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's kind of three pillars to yourself. There's a spiritual, there's a mental, and there's a physical. And trauma can be pent up in all three of those parts of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the physical nature, I can't really help people with, but I do know people that I've actually asked for help in terms of like
Mm. Mm-hmm.
um relieving trauma within my body, within, the muscle tissue, the fascia, all those
Sure.
things. But from the mental aspect, that is more just, I would say it's like just kind of your self-talk and your confidence to go do something. So
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
did self-study, and I realized I like I have a lot of intelligence, I have a lot of ability, and I have like all these things, and I just was only tapping into the victim side where it's like I want you to feel bad for me. Where it's now
Mm,
it's like, no, I don't want you to feel bad for me. I just want you to see where I've been and in hopes you can love yourself and love your past for what it is,
mm,
forgiving yourself and forgiving others at the same time, moving forward and being able to kind of treat the world with an empty slate and
mm.
actually do good for others. So, yeah, that's like kind of what
Wow.
a long, yeah, it was a long explanation, but that's kind of how I've gotten to, yeah, this point
Where you are.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a journey to have gone on. And
Yeah.
I mean, I truly appreciate that internal conflict that all of those pieces kind of get tumbled around and we have to tease them apart and look at them and try and make sense of them. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, and still keep moving forward. So I
hmm
can truly appreciate the journey that
I like
you
to,
have had.
yeah, I like to be honest because I think part of the issue, I wouldn't say it's an issue, but it is like a concern I have for a lot of the space that I'm in.
Mm. Hmm.
I've had a lot of clients. I've had a lot of clients complete working with me,
Hmm.
um, but I've had a lot of clients like quit halfway through because like
Yeah.
it's not easy. Like it's a very hard process, but
Yeah.
when you get through it, like you really are like this unstoppable
Mm.
person on the other side of it. And I think like we're kind
Yeah.
of promoted that, everything in life has to be easy and convenient, but that's
Mm.
not what is worthwhile,
Hmm.
truly worthwhile in life.
Yeah, the ability to tolerate our own discomfort
hmm
is a skill that not everyone invests in. So I
Yeah.
think that that's an important piece to it. You spoke
Mhm.
about the subconscious and kind of that purpose and rediscovering happiness and joy and creativity within that. When you think of creativity, what does it mean to you to be creative?
It's finding your voice and self expression without guilt or shame, meaning finding like just like anything that you want to be good at in life. It could be athletic, it could be artistic, it could be even something like more logical or kind of just like whatever you want to be good at. Go be good at it and don't have fear, shame, or guilt. Um, because when you truly find your self-expression, you're unstoppable. And
Hmm.
I've seen so many people with amazing confidence that they can go up and do anything that they set their mind to because they're not afraid of like what their family thinks, what their friends think, what their coworkers think. You
Yeah.
know, they legit have no fear. And
Hmm.
I think yeah, that's what being creative is. I mean, I created this painting behind
Mm.
me
Hmm.
and that was my first painting ever. And I'll probably never sell it or give it away because like that is my first step to being confident in an ability
Hmm.
that I never believed I was confident in because I was just kind of a
Hmm.
sports like athlete growing
Yeah.
up my whole life. So I never had that artistic side, and now I do. And
Hmm.
it's because I have confidence and self-expression, and I love when I do paint. I like sacred geometry. Like that's my kind of like niche, and like
Hmm.
that's what being a creative truly is. It's finding your niche and having that self-expression within that niche without fear, shame, or guilt, and letting others feel how much you love what you do.
Mm. I love that definition of finding your voice and self-expression without the guilt and shame and fear. For people who get that anticipation, fear, worry, am I good enough, sabotage, the saboteur experience, what are some of
some of those like little baby steps to start looking at that to get to this place where you have found yourself and other people that you work with in that robust confidence for not
Yeah.
really caring about other I say not caring, but not taking on someone else's opinion or view of you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because obviously this is something you should be able to take in any facet of your life.
Hmm.
To make this more, I guess, malleable, let me walk through maybe a scenario.
Yeah.
Um, Day by day. I would say, so I read The Artist's Way, and it's like a
Hmm.
12-week book where it helps you kind of reprogram your creativity in a sense. So like,
Mm.
going sober and then like writing 3 pages every day and stuff. Like I did that program, and I don't think you have to be that rigorous with it, but I will
Hmm.
say, um, if you want to be like, if you've never done anything artistic, let's say like drawing or painting. I actually interviewed when I used to do podcasting, interviewed. She played college basketball and she got into art and NFTs. And she now has a studio in New York City that she
Hmm.
sells her art out of. And she didn't start till after college.
Hmm.
And she started doing psychedelics and drawing. Um, and within like a year, she was like selling art. Like
Mm.
I'm not saying like within a year like of just selling, within a year of actually sketching, she was
Yeah.
already selling her art for hundreds of dollars a piece. And now
Wow.
she's in New York City. So honestly, you just got to do it. And you got to start you just got to start simple. Like that painting took me like maybe 2 days, and I wasn't even doing it like 8 hours straight. Like that took me
Mm.
maybe a collective of like 4 hours to do.
Hmm.
Um, and that's like that's where you start. You start doing something simple,
Mm.
and then you just like keep doing it every single day, even if it's 10 minutes, 15
Hmm.
minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And then like you just build off of that.
Mm.
Um, like when I started doing sacred geometry art, that's what I started with back there. And then I
Hmm.
started doing other symbols, like healing symbols. And then I started doing Fibonacci. And then I started doing like kind of like all these, weird looking triangles and pyramids and stuff like that. And then I started giving work to, friends and family. And they
Mm.
love it. They hang it in their house and, they truly appreciate that because it's like
Hmm.
something from the heart. So you just got to go, like, you can do all these mental exercises and things, um, but if you don't actually act upon it, you
Hmm.
won't get anywhere. And you got to
Mm.
do uh, small works every single day, and then um, give yourself grace while you do it.
Yeah. Valid, very valid. It sounds like there's also kind of tapping back into that child space of because kids like they'll go for it. They don't care. They're just gonna
Hmm.
go try something and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It's okay. So I hear a lot of that in the take that first step
Yeah.
and really look at it through that child lens of like, this could be terrible and it doesn't really matter because I'm having fun doing it. And that ability to kind of shake off that more adult evaluator part of ourself to that keeps us
Yeah.
from trying or doing. So, yeah, you've like pointed to this painting. Because we don't have video, would you mind describing it for our listeners?
Oh, yes. Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize
No
we were.
worries.
Yeah, for sure. So it's called a sun spiral. So basically, what
Oh.
it is, it's basically just trying to think. It's kind of like a snake-like circle that gets
Mm-hmm.
more condensed into the middle. The spiral.
Yeah.
So if you just like look up a spiral on Google, you'll just see like this like it's like a big circle that's like snaked into like it's getting smaller and smaller into the center, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
got like lines stretching from like this circle that I've painted, and it looks like a sun. It
Mm.
looks like a
Hmm.
sun that you would draw like in first grade or kindergarten, but the spiral part is like that snake-like circle that condenses into the middle, and the geometry, yeah, behind a spiral is it's the spiral that connects to like your centerpiece. So, the outside of a spiral is spiritually supposed to mean like what's outside of your like control, I guess, or like what the environment and external factors are in your life. And then
Hmm.
it spirals into the center, meaning your center, your heart space, or your soul's significance. So
Hmm.
it's kind of the meaning spiritually behind what a spiral is.
Nice. Thanks
Yeah.
for breaking that down for our listeners so that
Yeah, of
they know
course.
what it is that you're referencing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, in the work that you do, I imagine you bump up against challenges, whether it's people's own internal journey or your own internal pieces supporting purpose and happiness. When you bump up against those challenges, how do you navigate them in your own life and then also with other people?
Hmm. Yeah. I would say um, it's important to ask why things come up.
Mhm.
And I learned that through just work and just like asking why something is significant or important to someone else,
Mhm.
why they feel this way, why they, said things that were kind of emotional, maybe a little bit offensive to others. And when you just ask why, that's like the first step.
Mhm.
So asking why and then generating a plan of action from there. So for me, it was, why, did why did I get upset that someone left negative comments on like a video I posted?
Mhm.
Well, I got upset because, getting bullied as a kid and condensing my voice still triggers me to this day because,
Mhm.
I have this unworthiness thought process with myself. Like I'm unworthy to speak or I'm
Mhm.
unworthy to give an opinion. Um, and it's like, okay, so how can I solve that problem?
Mhm.
And I got to solve that problem by A, going into that traumatic experience and letting it go. The art of letting
Mhm.
go is something that I've basically tried to teach people. Like
Mhm.
pretty much the reason our insecurities happen is because like we can't let something go. And like I want to be empathetic to people in their situations because like there are some awful things that have happened to people in their lifetime.
Mhm.
And I understand that. I hear you. I see you. And it's okay to be angry at certain people or certain situations.
Mhm.
But you're never going to get anywhere until you let that memory go. Not to
Mhm.
say like when you let go, you're not forgetting the memory. And it's not like you have to make amends with, people or situations that hurt you, but you're letting it go and you're accepting it for what it is. And in order to move
Mhm.
forward in your life, you have to accept things that have already happened. Um,
Mhm.
because one thing I've learned through quantum, like all the quantum studies that people have come out with now are just like
Mhm.
quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and like quantum timeline, leaping and stuff that kind of the woo-woo people talk about. I've realized actually too, there are studies where like time is not linear necessarily and time
Mhm.
folds on itself. So actually when you heal past memories, um, there is a chance, not right away, but throughout time, when you heal those memories and time collapses and folds upon itself, like those memories can actually change and shift
Hmm.
because of how your mind heals that. So like you have like all these timelines. So when you, but for the sake of making this not super conspiratorial or just like too crazy to digest, when you accept things that have happened to you in the past, you're able to move forward with grace for
Hmm.
yourself and a more open mind and a more open heart.
Hmm.
And that's how you attract abundance. Like people think abundance is just working hard, or people think abundance is, sitting in lotus position and manifesting your reality. Some of that is true. However, you have to be open with your mind and your heart to receiving abundance,
Hmm.
which I think is harder for men to do because men are just way too in the brain. Like
Hmm.
I actually try to help men be more open with their heart space than their
Hmm.
brain space because men are only, for some reason, logical. Like everything's got to be logic. Everything has to be, one plus one is two. When in reality, that doesn't that's not necessarily healthy because then it's like you're not open to certain people in certain situations that you
Hmm.
would be open to, but for some reason your brain just only operates in no, it's got to be this.
Hmm.
No. So you gotta be more open with your mind and your heart, and when you're able to accept like your past, and you move forward and live in the present more, that's when your life gets better.
Hmm. Yeah. I I appreciate those pieces of be really facing challenges. It's not something that you shy away from or ignore or avoid. It's
Hmm.
like you step into it and dig in and ask why, and then figure out, okay, how do I move with this or how do I tease it apart and process it to the point of acceptance
Hmm.
and then continue to move forward with that.
Absolutely. Like I played college football and I'm going through not like it's not catastrophic like with my body right now, but I'm going through like a lot of fascia issues and like a
Mhm.
lot of issues with just like parts of my body. And instead of me complaining about, you know, playing football and,
Hmm.
ruining my body for the future, it's like okay, that time period happened. I'm grateful for it. And but what can I do now to reset my body or like help,
Hmm.
you know, get my body better? Because all that matters is right now. It doesn't matter what I did in the past. It doesn't matter what decisions I made in the past because it
Hmm.
happened,
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta let it go, mentally speaking, which I have, and then it's like, okay, why don't I try to figure out how to actually heal my body
Hmm.
for the future so I can
Hmm.
have a long, lasting, future physically. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's that's just kind of one example that's popped up in my life because my life is not perfect, and that's that's the human experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think yeah, letting go is it's the hardest part. Like letting go is the hardest part.
It absolutely is. We want to hold on to things and feel like if
Mhm.
we let things go, it means something. It means it didn't matter or whatever the story is that we're telling ourselves about it. So,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it is quite the journey to identify it and then let it go because we can't change something we're not aware of. So
Exactly.
having that piece is the crux of it. We got to know what it is before we can do anything about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, this has been such a treat getting to chat with you. I have one last question.
Yeah, of course.
What does it feel like in your body to be creative?
Oof. That's that's actually for how simple that question is, it's very layered.
Mhm.
Because being creative to me, because we live in such a weird time with artificial intelligence specifically. I
Hmm.
think artificial intelligence has really complicated a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of it. if I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being creative is going to be, I wouldn't say more challenging. It's going to be more how deep are you willing to go? And like when I got to college, that's like what it was about. It was about feeling. But then
Mm-hmm.
like after COVID, it almost seemed like we were getting number to our feelings. And now
Mm-hmm.
it's to this point where it's almost like we do things just to fill time in our lives. But now I see the reverse effect happening because of technology trying to produce everything way too fast into our lives. So now it's like I've had to suppress all these feelings, and it's all like coming up now for everyone. And it's like, okay, we have like all these feelings. And now it's like, okay, let's all feel this together, and let's all try to create like good feelings
Mm.
together. And how can we do that? So like people want to feel like they're a part of something nowadays.
For sure.
That's what
Yeah,
taste will be.
that makes sense. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining me today. If
thanks for
people
having me.
want to learn more about the work you do, where could they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, Conscious Coop. I am on Facebook. It's think it's Cooper Harrison Conscious Mentor. I think that's my business page. I tried changing the name, but Meta is oh man, don't get me started with Meta. But I am on Facebook if you're more of a Facebook person. I do meditative videos and experiences on YouTube, Conscious Coop on YouTube. CooperHarrison.org is my website. I'm on Substack as well. I think it's Conscious Coop, but my Substack is called The Conscious CEO. So I like to write about conscious business and what that
Mm-hmm.
looks like moving forward. So I am on Substack. I really love Substack. If people want to get into writing and blogging again, go to Substack. It's awesome.
Cool. Nice.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see blogging hopefully make a comeback.
Hmm.
Trying to think what else. Yeah, that's pretty much how you'll find me. And like, you know, if you send a message through my website or on Instagram, I'm pretty quick to respond. So,
Perfect. Nice.
yeah.
Well, I will put links in show notes so people have very easy access to get in touch with you. And thank you again for joining me. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. This was great.
Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. We'd love to keep in touch, so follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your reviews, comments, and questions. Check out our website, sustainingcreativity.com, for upcoming offerings and creativity coaching. Tune in Tuesdays for our next episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.